What up, guys? Today we got a question from one of my students who sent me this article where Henry Atkins was talking about the half guard, and he said that the half guard position is just not a good position. You're half passed. There's not a lot of options for submissions, and basically the only goal from the half guard is to sweep and get on top of the person and get to a better spot. And so one of my students, Mike, who is also a half guard player, sent me the article and was like, "Hey, Chewy, what do you think about this? Because I like half guard. I know you like half guard. Maybe this will make a good video," right? And so, Mike, thanks for the question, bro. And yeah, of course, I disagree. Now, let me just sort of preface this with, I like Henry. I don't know him great, but we've met each other a few times. Always been cool to me. And I've heard from several people who have trained with him that he's a phenomenal instructor. So, no beef. But I can have a friendly, bearded disagreement with him, can't I? So half guard for me, I remember hearing this stuff that half guard was half passed, that it wasn't effective, so forth, so on, right? Same stuff I heard like 20 years ago. And I remember using the position like, damn, this thing's working for me, right? But then I hear these people over here saying, oh, this isn't a good position. You shouldn't play half guard. I'm like, man, how can I? It's working really well. It's better than the full guard and everything else that I was doing. It connected with my wrestling. I've got all kinds of options here. And so I kept playing half guard, and it's been one of my best positions. It's many of my students' best positions. I've used it in jiu-jitsu competitions. I've used it in MMA fights. Fabulous position, excellent position. And I think it's a great position for people who aren't built for things like full guard or spider guard and things like that. And so, great position. So that's my disagreement. There's your answer, Mike. But what I really wanted to give you guys today, right? And this is something that's really important is, when you guys get into jiu-jitsu, because I know I have a lot of newer people in their first several years that watch this, a lot of black belts too, but there's just more people in the beginning. People are going to give you their rules, their opinions. Sometimes there's some guy on YouTube giving you his opinion. Try their ideas, their techniques, their positions, see how they work for you, but never get dogmatically attached to them. Because as a jiu-jitsu practitioner and artist, you want to play. You want to figure out what works for you. You want to see how things fit you. Think of it as like a pair of shoes or a shirt. Put it on, how does it fit? I don't like this one, too tight or a little too loose. Same thing with your moves. You try them on, you see how they fit or how they work. This doesn't feel good for me right now. Maybe I'll try this later on. I'll come back to this. Think about some other positions and some other sort of situations. We'll use John Danaher as an example. Widely considered one of the best coaches in jiu-jitsu, right? One of the things that they really flipped around in jiu-jitsu was a leg lock position and back mount. So the leg lock position, before them, for the most part, most people just assumed that leg locks had no control. That basically it was just a submission where you would do some mad dash and just rip someone's heel off. That was the way that everybody looked at it as. Then these guys came in and they had this system together and they're like, no, you can control people. You can break it down step by step, and they work very effectively, and you can train them without ripping anything off because we have superior control, which allows us to apply pressure and apply the submission very, slowly. Right? Big deal for a lot of people. Because before then, for the last, at least the 20 years that I was in, it was like jiu-jitsu or leg locks are just all about ripping submissions, and they don't have any control, so forth, so on. Then the back mount. A common sort of view of back mount back in the day was that if you were holding it, let's say we got the seatbelt grip here, okay? Underarm, a little short arm here, top arm going over top, my choking arm, that you would always want to fall to the choking arm side, that it was a bad idea to fall to the underarm side. I remember seeing people get scolded by like world champion black belts who said, oh, you never fall to this side. Again, you can choke from either side. Right? And so again, it was there was never that these moves, these techniques didn't work. It was just, they needed to be tweaked a little bit. People needed to figure them out. And so again, what if they would have listened to maybe the prevailing thought of their time that, oh, you don't use this or whatever, or if they were in a gym where people were very closed off to different ways of being, they would have missed out on opportunities, right? This is why anytime I'm talking to one of my students, if they come up to me and say, hey, Chewy, you showed the move like X this way, whatever. Well, what happens if I do it this way? Because I've been doing this when rolling. It works really well for me. What do you think? I always tell them, if it's working for you, keep doing it. Who am I to argue with results? Maybe different than mine, but hey, you're making it work, so keep going down the rabbit hole. When it stops working, then we'll talk and we'll figure out what to do the next. And so my sort of message in the video for you guys as jiu-jitsu practitioners is do not be dogmatically attached to other people's 10 commandments. They're nice, clear-cut rules. Try them out if you wish, but you don't have to hang on to them. And the reason why I say that is because humans love nice, clear-cut, like black and white, yes and no, binary answers. But very often when you think about just about anything, it depends. There's a lot of gray area. Let's think about jiu-jitsu for a second. Going back to half guard. Half guard is an amazing sweeping position. Great for submissions, great for sweeping, great for, people who aren't built for a full guard, and so I already said that, right? Well, it's also a fabulous passing position. How can things be true at the same time? Well, because it depends. If you're on the bottom of half guard, do you have your shoulders up to the side or are you flat on your back? Do you have an underhook? Do they have a near side or a far side underhook? Do they have a crossface? There's a lot of things that change the position where it turns it into an incredibly strong passing position, or it turns it into an incredibly strong sweeping position. It's not a black and white. It's depends. It's gray area there. And so again, it's just a good idea. Now again, humans love that stuff because we're kind of lazy. We want everything to be nice and categorized, and we don't want to have to think too much. You think about diets, like, there's so many diet gurus, and it's always, instead of telling people what they need to hear, which is, you can eat a lot of different types of food. It literally comes down to caloric deficit. What they want to hear is, no. The reason why you haven't been able to lose weight is because there's this one esoteric little supplement that you've never heard of, and if you start taking this will change everything. Or this one food is the big problem that you're having. No, it's you're drinking milkshakes too much, eating burgers too much, not going for walks enough, right? I mean, it's just simple stuff. No harm, it just it is what it is. And I was reading something, it's like this guy was making fun of people with AI, like talking about lazy thinking. It's like we're coming into a world now where people, they will ask AI to write their books, to make their videos and so forth, and then they're also gonna go back to AI to give them summaries because they don't wanna read, right? Nobody wants to think. So what I'm asking you to do in jiu-jitsu is to think for yourself. That's it, right? Go through this, learn from all the sources you can, take as much as you can in, learn from everybody, and then test it out for yourself. See how it works for you. If it works, great, keep it. If it doesn't, discard it, pick it up later, put it up on the shelf, whatever you want to do. You're an artist. This is your thing. Play around with this stuff. And don't be dogmatically attached to anybody's stuff. Don't care who they are. Try it out for yourself. See how it supports you. If it does, good. Even your own views. Don't be dogmatically attached to what you think right now, because I can tell you the things that I thought 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a lot of the stuff's changed. Some of it's the same, but a lot of the technical details, you start figuring stuff out. So you want to be open to this stuff, right? What do they say? You want to be open-minded enough that you can let new stuff in, but not too open-minded that everything falls out. Maybe that's an idea. So anyway, guys, just something to chew on, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you next time.